Mm-hmm. Yes, it's me again. Um, this video I'm gonna make, it's more for, it's like a dream testimonial video. It's just, this is about something that I've experienced. A dream I had, or vision. I wouldn't say it was. I would say it's not a dream. It's a dream, but it's not a dream because it was like I felt like I was there. Anyway, I had this dream like around 3 years ago. I think it was like in 2012. I had a dream where I fell into this very deep dream. Like somebody has, and somebody put you under, like, you're going for surgery, and somebody put you under, but it felt like my spirit was out of my body and I was somewhere else. Um, this dream, I felt like I was on this hill. I must have been somewhere higher on a hill or something, and I was overlooking a country. And I think it was Israel. And which part I was that I could overlook Israel and saw their beachfront here, because Israel has like a beach, a big long beach, and I could look over the cities. I could know that cities and beach, and I saw um a lot of people from like the right side of me or the left hand side of me try to go into the city of Israel. I know it was Israel because that's where everybody was running to go towards. And it was like, it was like you was in a just trying to get I think this was mostly white people were trying to get into Israel because it like everywhere was in ruin destruction. Like, there was nothing was in operation. Everything was torn down. You understand me? Destruction, chaos. You understand me? And I said, and it was a big crowd, and I was like telling these people that this is not your land. This is not your land. I was like shouting over there, and I was telling these people, these white people that were trying to get into land, these are not your land, and that how can you go into this into the land of Israel and you're partying and you're getting drunk and this is destruction now. Because when I was looking, I could see that they were having big part. The people that were already in the land, that made you, they were on the beach, on the beach, sipping their wine, having a nice time. Like, meanwhile, destruction is still everywhere, has been destroyed or in chaos and in panic, and there's no civilization nowhere. But Israel was the only place that had, they could party. The people, what I saw was these people partying, having a good time, getting drunk at a bar, what I mean, on the beach, at the tavern, having a good time. I could overlook and see all that going down in the city or in Israel, by the beach and everything. And I had these white people trying to get into Israel, and I'm telling you that you're not the people. And I went over there. I think I went over there. I went over there to the people, and then I saw one white guy said, these white people are being arrogant and said, shut, they didn't want to tell me I'm a nigger, but I said, shut up, shut up. We have every right to be in this land. You understand me? So why are you going over there for? You understand? You partying after you see all this destruction? And this like, what are you trying to escape from? And blah, and I was like, so you had this white guy who came out and tell me that, um, that the, that like, I don't understand that. Like when you're over there, people are running to and fro from not getting killed. I'm saying, getting killed from what? I didn't understand what I'm saying. He started to describe that he saw things in the sky and they had like laser beam coming down from the sky from these circular, small circle looking ship, but there were by millions of them shooting lasers at people. And with the laser touch you, you will disappear. You'll be dead. It kills you into a vapor, it vaporizes you. That's how powerful it was, and people were running to and fro because it was something it was something supernatural or extraterrestrial that was happening. As it, what I was seeing, and they were small, but they were by the millions. They were by the millions, and they were you know what I mean. So that's why I say these white people were escaping, because Israel was the only place where they were experiencing it, and that the cities were still upheld and there was no destruction. And then they said, but okay, so what make so I'm like, to my mind I was thinking, what make you think that they ain't gonna come over there? And then he started to like tell me that they're running from this big black guy, and his gown is all drained or stained in red. So obviously he had a white garment, and it was drained, and it was stained in red blood. Guess blood.
63.
I still a dream. What do we? Anyway, 63. Yes, it was stained in red, and they said it was a big black guy, and that's what they describe him as. He was tall, very tall, big black guy. So I went back to where I was, up in the hill, and I'm taking a video.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I couldn't. I was bad. So I went back to where I was, where I could see the overview of Israel and see what was going on. And I saw one of my friends that I knew from high school. Well, she came to me and she said, and I was at that time I had my own stuff by my side, but I took out some fries. And she said, "How do you survive in these times? I'm surviving," because I guess she was hungry. She was hungry, and because as I said, this is total destruction, apocalypse going on in Armageddon. Because I told her I was telling her how I survived. I was telling her I went to one of those empty McDonald's, and the only thing that they would have there that you could eat is fries. So maybe because I used to working I used to work in a fast food restaurant. I did it when I was in Orlando. I know that fries is the only thing that would only last. That is perishable. And I would take it and put it in the basket and fry it myself, and it would be in my meal. You know what I mean? I knew how maybe at that time I knew how to survive in those type. I become very. I guess I got adapted because, as I said, it was apocalypse. No food, no running water. All the buildings are destroyed or abandoned, and you can't make out one state to another or from one country to the other. The way all this place was totally demolished, except for Israel. And then I was there. And next thing I know, when I looked over to like over the hill, I started to see some strange animals, like some Leviathan sea monsters coming out of the beach, the water, the ocean. And they were coming out in the ocean into land. And they were beginning to devour people. I'm not lying. Okay? Now, I might be an Hebrew Israelite. I know the scriptures, and you might say that I'm delusional and because I'm into this religion. To be honest, say what you gotta say. It's something that was real. It wasn't even a dream. It seemed as if like I was there. I was there myself. I was there myself. This is what I could. That's what I said in the beginning. I couldn't put it in a dream, and I couldn't put it in a vision. This was something like I was come out of my, it's like God took me out of my spirit and put me there to let me see what was going on. So I went into this so anyway, I saw this big monster, sea monsters, huge weird looking monsters. I would have to call them monsters because it's not like they're whale or they're dolphins or things that you could recognize. They're huge, and they come out of the ocean onto the shore, and they were eat like they started to devour those white people or the people that was in the shore. That was like, oh, that was like, on the bath, what I mean, the beach, what people do, means hang out by the water and walk by the beach and those stuff. They were starting to devour, and people started, and then these white people started run like roaches and gather and say, Mama, and then these monsters that come out of the ocean started to go and just tear down everything. It's like, so that was a terror at one part. Next thing you know, I was walking, and then I was taken to this other place, and I think I went to like where it was in California, because I've been to California before. I know exactly the spot. I can show you a picture. Um, I've taken a picture by it. It was by the highway. In California they have a highway there, and then they have the big old Pacific Ocean over there. Anytime you drive on the highway, you can see the ocean. You know what I mean? You can see the ocean. So I was there, so I knew it was in Cali. I know I was in the States at this time where I was brought to. I don't. I don't know if somebody was transporting me back there, but I don't know. I went from Israel to America, but I was there. And when I went over there, I think I was like in a spot where I could see everything, but nobody could see me. I was like probably behind a rock or at a very distant view, but I was by the ocean. And then when I looked through the ocean, on the ocean there, I saw like you could see what we call a UFO or the chariot. But it was like something where the big old disc or the big old chariot or UFO covered the whole ocean because it was that big. It covered the whole ocean, the entire ocean. Can you imagine an ocean and it's huge and that thing covered the entire ocean? You could not see the water. The disc was, it's like the water was kind of simmering on the disc and the disc was kind of upside down. And it's on the flat, you understand me? It was flat. The flat part, like it can go, what do you call it, like when manatee and the manatee turn itself over, upside. Yes, that's how I see it. It's like it turned itself over. And they see like three men. I saw three men, and I think I knew Yahweh was in the middle because he had that big sword, huge sword. And these men were huge. I'm like tall. I'm like about 9, 10 feet tall. You understand me? They were like 9, 10 feet tall. And they had a huge, and Yahweh had a huge, sword right in front of me that I can tell you that no man can lift that sword up. You have to have his type of body, his type of flesh to hold that sword, because that sword looked like it was extremely heavy, and you have to have a strength of a supernatural celestial body to lift that sword up, and it was shine. The sharpest part was very sword. Trust me, when you take a well-made sword that's from Japan, has no hand, has no fighting power to the sword. Oh, it was so huge and it was so heavy that if you took the biggest sword of a well-made Japanese sword or a samurai sword, it will chop it up in pieces. See, chop it up in pieces. Yes, it was very heavy. No man could never lift that sword. I don't think they can even carry it or even lift it or you understand me? This and they carried it like it was like they carrying a piece of toilet paper. You understand me? So I saw, a big black, tall, about 9 inches, black guy. No, black man. 3 black men, and one was our Messiah. I knew he was in the middle, cause he had that fierce look, like fierce. And I knew he knew I was around. I could tell that he knew around, but he didn't really like pick me up. But I could feel like he knew my presence was there. But it didn't bother him, or he didn't like give me any eye contact or nothing. He was concentrating at the task at hand. He was very focused in what he was there for, to be honest. And they were very fierce, very fierce. I was at a distance. If I was like near to them, I probably would have to like bow my head down or something. You know what I mean? But I was at a distance seeing it. And then I saw a lot of white people on the shore, and they was just froze. They froze. I could tell they were froze. White people, they were froze. They couldn't even say anything. I could see that they were froze. They just like froze. They froze. Because they never saw, because when I say you saw it, you will never see them in your life. This is something coming up. You understand me? And they walked off on the ship and went on the shore to where they at. And I think the one that was on his right hand side, I think that was the angel of weapons. Because he took something out of out of whatever he took, but he used his mind. He used his mind like a telepathic power to it, where he didn't like somebody that can take out the chain out of a bag or out of his pocket or anything. It just manifests by itself. I mean, I know he had it on him or something, and it had some long chains, and he just used his mind, and the man, he just tell the chain with his mind how to stretch the chain or what to do and whatever. You understand me? It was like a telepathic power he had. And this long chain that he had, it had like some white lights on it. White lights. White lights, like if you ever touch it, it would shock you, like it would electrocute you. And he just commanded that chain to just chain up those white people. Those white people. And the white people just obeyed. They just obeyed and go into single file and chain, you know what I mean? And it chained and the thing chained it up. And I think that was the angel of Michael. Archmichael was right on his left hand side, and Christ was in the middle. And all you could look, it was a fierce look. And maybe at that time, white people knew they couldn't, you know what I mean? It didn't make any sense to fight them. If you know what I mean. I mean, all this big talk that they used to love carry on, and the Iron Mighty and all that. Nope. They didn't even say nothing. They just obeyed. They didn't even put up a fight. They didn't even put up an argument. They didn't nothing. They just obeyed. And that's real. And then after that, when I woke up. And when I woke up, to be honest, I woke up. I felt like my body vibration was different. I woke up and my psychomotor skills just go like, you know what I mean? Like it's like like I had a new super strength or something. You understand me? And it lasted for like about 2 hours, but my whole vibration changed. You understand me? It was like something like I had a different body, like on a body different vibration, like I took on an angelic vibration for a while, and I had to like, me, my mortal body couldn't take it. You understand me? So, and it's like I had a heaviness in my head. My head feel like it's like, and it doesn't feel like a headache, to be honest. It felt like something just heavy, like you have a brick, like you putting a brick on your head. A brick on your head, like you have a brick. You know when something, like you're holding something heavy on your head, but it's not pounding you like a headache. It's just that it feel like you have that amount of weight.
That's the spirit of the Most High. That's the spirit of the Most High anointing.
Yes, I mean.
And the flesh doesn't agree with the spirit of the Most High. So it causes the flesh like that. The more the spirit get on you, the weaker your flesh will get.
Yeah.
That's why when the Most High appeared to most of the people, they drop dead that night. You know what I'm saying?
So I don't know if because I was able to be around it mostly because my spirit was different or was transformed. Because I feel like if it was somebody else, they couldn't manage the vibration. To be honest, you couldn't handle this vibration. So I don't know if it's because he chose me to see this future because my spirit could handle it. You understand me? Versus if it was somebody else, they would probably like. Because trust me, it felt like a heaviness on my head. Like, I was carrying about 10 bricks on my head. Right? So I had to drink. After a while, I had to, at the time, I drank some red wine. Red wine to kind of get back my spirit back. You understand me? I drank some red wine. I didn't know if that was good, but I had to like I had to come back to my spirit had to come back to my body. And I know that if you experience that kind of thing, you drink red wine to get back a spirit into my body because if I had it too long on me, I know I would have probably end up having my head checked or something. Not because I would say I'm crazy, but I have to get back my old equilibrium back. You understand me? Yeah? Yeah, equilibrium back. Because if I carry this, I would probably kill people and be crazy. You understand me? I would, yes, I mean, so, red wine is very good when you go through that kind of spiritual experience to get back equilibrium. And again, I would advise you, women, be careful of the guys you be with. Because if they have a wicked vibration, the Most High is going to come on you. I'm not saying I was a saint. Trust me, I wasn't. But the Most High chose me for a reason. He knows why, okay? We do not know. We don't have all the answers nor the truth. Even though we know our nationality and we know the Bible to a certain extent. But that's as far as we can go. The mighty Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, he is a know-it-all because he sees it all. We don't. So we need to stop this bullshit that we know it all because we don't. And that, we need to start walking the spirit. When we walk in the spirit, though, that's when the Most High communicate to you. And trust me, you will know the difference between when you will know the difference between when the Most High is dealing with you and when it's demonic dreams. Because they have a two different vibration. I reached to a point where I don't really listen to too much of Christians, people with a Christian mindset dreams about how they see hell and hell. No, um you can't, to be honest, is you gotta, because the thing about it is that you got to learn what is delusional and what is from the Most High. And the Most High, and it has to stick in scriptures. If it don't stay in the scriptures as far as the dreams are, um, you're not, you understand me? It's gonna come from another source, because demons can do the same thing too. But I know that mine come from the Most High because it was of a different vibration. Because I have a lot of dreams, but mine is usually more metaphorical allergy. I have to like interpret this one. This one, it was like I was taken out. My spirit was taken out of my body, and I was somewhere else. And this is not the first time it happened to me. And so I've been having a lot of these apocalyptic dreams since I was experiencing since I was like 8 years old, to be honest. But it got more stronger in the truth. But when I was not in the truth and I was in the word, I had like once in a blue moon. You understand? But once since I came in the truth, back in the monastic, it go like it go. You understand me? Because now I got more understanding of the scriptures. And that Bible is not just a book, it's a living book. It has life. Anyway, I'll be making more videos on my dreams and my testimonies, okay? Alright.